Welcome back into that Sean podcast. It is I, Big Ush. Is he that Cat Daddy? Cat Daddy, what's on your mind?
Man, we got a great show this week. We get to recap Super Bowl weekends, the end of season awards, the Hall of Fame selections and snubs, and at least one of us is going to go off. And we get to recap the game itself. But it seemed like I watched this game last year, right? We had a team from the host city represented in the Super Bowl. That team acquired a veteran quarterback in the offseason. And a big reason that team won is because of the poor offensive line play of their opponent. I think this was a repeat of last year. And
hold on. I think saying poor offensive line play is not giving credit where credit is due, but we'll get into that.
But if these trends continue, then the next Super Bowl is going to be played in Glendale, Arizona, which means the Cardinals will be acquiring a veteran quarterback this offseason. And bless you again.
Thank you.
And they're probably going to be going against the Chargers or the Broncos. So there's my prediction.
All right, since you're making that prediction, we'll dive into that prediction real quick because I know that prediction is, and what I'm going to do to it will trigger you. Because if they're acquiring a veteran quarterback, especially since we're hearing rumblings about Kyler Murray not being happy, there's a veteran quarterback who hasn't kind of not been happy recently named Aaron Rodgers. So, Cat Daddy, just jump in, throw you a curveball. How you feel about that idea that Aaron Rodgers could be on the Cardinals?
The idea, it's got to the point where I think Green Bay has wasted Aaron Rodgers' best years, and people are saying that the Packers are going all in by trying to keep Rodgers these past couple of years and win. And my question to them is, what does all in mean to you? Because the Packers truly don't have a number 2 wide receiver. It's the Devontae Adams show. And that's about it on offense. You're forcing Aaron Rodgers to play hero ball here.
Wait. Do they have a stud tight end? No, I don't think they got that.
Last year they had Robert Tonyan with the breakout. He came back. Robert Tonyan is back this year. He did not play well the first, handful of weeks before he got injured. Exactly. Where's that weapon? The Packers have one of the offensive linemen. Yeah, but he didn't play until week 18 or whatever week. Yeah, week 18. Where's the all-in? Are you telling me that Devondre Campbell is all-in? He was a June signing. He wasn't even one of those big free agents.
Wait, who's the monster on defense that would be re-signed, or like who is your true blue chip guy on defense? I mean, I know you had Gray kind of break out this year. I know there's Jair Alexander, but who's that guy that people fear on your defense?
It should have been Zadarius Smith, but he was injured from week 1 moving on.
I like Zadarius Smith. I really do. He's a really good player, but he's not that guy. Even if he's there, he's not that guy. You know, because I mean, I'm just saying the Rams. They got Aaron.
Oh yeah. Like but Zadarius Smith is the most feared guy on the Packers roster. Now, does he compare to Aaron Donald? No. Does he compare to Von Miller? No. Does he compare to Leonard Floyd? Yeah, he can. But Leonard Floyd's number 3,
which is the third option.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just saying.
Oh, I get it. Where's this all in? I don't see it.
Where does he even compare to Trey Hendrickson?
Trey Hendrickson, he did very well at Cincinnati. Cincinnati went out. They didn't break the bank for him, but they signed him to a good deal.
They got Sam Hubbard. Like I get it. The Green Bay's got players, but I'm just saying, where's your like true stud guy on defense? Where's your at least serviceable next guy on offense? I get okay. You got Aaron Jones. Who's catching the ball?
Exactly. Aaron Jones is probably the second best receiving weapon that the Packers had. Alan Lazard is serviceable, but if and when Alan Lazard reaches free agency, what team is going to go out there and say, you know what, I'm going to sign Alan Lazard as my number one. I'm going to sign Alan Lazard as my number two. It's almost like Aaron Rodgers made Alan Lazard relevant.
All right, so I mean, off of this one, I just wanted to get at you for a little bit there, and
Man, you know how to set me off. You know how to get me going.
He didn't even go into the aspect of Kyler Murray being the Packers quarterback.
The deal, oh man, I don't even think that deal would happen. Kyler Murray is probably just posturing for
Most likely
that extension. I do want to say that Green Bay's front office and their management have been unusually public about their feelings about Aaron Rodgers, because this is a ball club that is very private and they don't share a whole lot of information. They do things behind closed doors and you find out about it once it's finalized. So them coming out and saying, yeah, we want Aaron Rodgers back, we're going to give him this max $45 million per year deal. I'm thinking two things. One, you're probably saying this so you can save face for the inevitable breakup, so you can look good by publicly saying you want to keep him. And two, if you really do try to keep him with a $45 million per year deal, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because you are already 48, 50 million over the cap. You're going to increase his cap hit. It makes no sense. You're not going to have any talent around him. So the idea of bringing Rodgers back and reloading, bringing everybody else back, it just
save it for future episodes. We will be getting into all that. I know you got a lot to say, and we do got our free agency episodes coming up where you get to say it.
We're focusing on the Super Bowl.
Right now, let's get on the game of the Super Bowl. Not a bad game. This is actually a pretty good game. Joe Burrow did some stuff. Matt Stafford did a little bit of stuff. The best part of the game, for the most part, was the refs tried to stay out of it, with the exception of one call, which was a very important call. And the only reason I'm upset about this call is because of who it was on. Because the player it was on had an extremely clean play, and he was probably, if the Cincinnati Bengals won that game, the MVP of the game, because he was all over the field. Small school guy, and Logan Wilson out of Wyoming. You know, so we got another guy coming out of Wyoming this year who is looking pretty good too. But that being said, the Rams overcame what Cincy could offer. Just like that Niners game, late in that game, Aaron Donald and that defense took over and just shut down the Cincinnati Bengals. I know everybody's gushing over Stafford. I don't think he played that well. One awesome throw does not mean you played great. I'm just saying, everybody's posting the one awesome throw he had. Okay, cool.
Yep. Watching this game, I wanted a good game, right? My Packers weren't in it. I mean, the Cowboys weren't in it. We really had no rooting interest in this game. We had our picks, but really, I just wanted to see a good game. I wanted to see it go down to the final few minutes, preferably the final seconds, just for the whole dramatic effect of the Super Bowl. I think, for the most part, the game delivered on the drama. Now, there's two things I know. First, I was not ready for the game to end the way that it ended. I wasn't ready for that. And the second thing I know is this Super Bowl was lost in the trenches by Cincinnati. Pass protection and pass rushing.
Or won by LA.
I think more it was lost by Cincinnati, because after Odell Beckham Jr. went out in the second quarter, I think there was a huge shift in momentum, because Los Angeles offense looked a lot different. It was stalling. It couldn't get going. Going out.
Cincy was doing things. Cincy's offense was doing things, especially at the end of that second half and the beginning of the end of that first half.
The first half, they did really well. The first half,
the beginning of the third
line gave up 1 sack. In the third quarter alone, they gave up 5.
And you know what happened? I'm telling you, the Rams defense figured something out.
They started rushing 5. Yeah, instead of bringing 4,
more than that.
They brought a little bit
more than that. It was stunts. It was the stunts that they started doing. And then for those at home listening to us, obviously you're not here. If you don't know what a stunt is, it's basically you have the defenders on the line, the 4 defenders. The one inside will crash towards the outside tackle, and the guy outside will loop around him, hoping that guy takes both of the other 2 and try to get to the quarterback. And what was happening is that once that guy crashed on the tackle, Von Miller, the guard, even if the guard was freed up, was no match for Von Miller. And then once Von Miller started getting there, they're like, oh crap, we got to do something about him. We got to do something about the 5th guy. And Aaron Donald just was like, oh, I've got one person on me?
Yeah. That was a huge difference. In the first half, Aaron Donald was facing double and triple teams on just about every play. The second half, he started getting those one-on-ones, and he was winning. You can't go one-on-one
It was all scheme
with Aaron Donald. Not even Cincinnati's best offensive lineman can go one-on-one with Aaron Donald.
And the reason why I say this, that it was more defense, this is the same thing. Not the same exact scheme, but they schemed up the same thing against San Francisco. And San Francisco's thought to have a good offensive line. And, I mean, LA did the same type of stuff. And in the game, their defensive line took over.
And speaking of defensive line, Cincinnati was not getting it done. They were not generating enough pressure on Stafford.
Sam Hubbard might have been the most successful or the most impactful defensive lineman they had.
But that's not saying much.
No, it's not.
Now, I mean, rushing 3 or 4 people against Patrick Mahomes and forcing him to be patient may have been a good strategy for that game, but rushing 3 or 4 against Matthew Stafford, who is a more patient quarterback, is a horrible strategy.
Well, it's more than that. Because, I mean, you're rushing 3 or 4 against Patrick Mahomes and he's hoping that Tyreek Hill gets open. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And this is why I keep saying Tyreek Hill is that flash in the pan. If he doesn't get the ball at his spot, when the field's condensed like that, and that's where they got Patrick Mahomes. When the field got condensed, Tyreek Hill didn't have the room to run open like he normally does when he has like the whole field and they've got those broken plays. Cooper Kupp, on the other hand, is a route runner. He will break the dude's ankles and get open. And that's basically what happened at the end of the game. They couldn't stay with him.
You knew. Just like with Green Bay, you know the ball's going to Devontae Adams. You knew the ball was going to Cooper Kupp because there was no other reliable pass-catching option for the Rams in that situation. You knew it was going to Kupp, and you couldn't stop it.
Just couldn't do it.
You couldn't. But then you have to look at Cincinnati's offense. And Cincinnati's offense really lives and dies by Zach Taylor's play calling. On the first drive of the game for them, they had 3rd and 1 near midfield. They had Samaje Perine in there. He took the handoff, failed to convert.
I want to know why.
4th and 1, incomplete pass to Jamar Chase. Now you're giving the ball to Los Angeles in great field position, midfield. Don't got to go very far. And then it's almost similar on the final drive. They were facing a similar 3rd and 1. You hand off to Perine, who fails to convert. And then
why was he in?
It sounds like Zach Taylor had trust in Samaje Perine because he liked him on the 3rd down plays. I think it's because Samaje Perine may be a better pass blocker, and especially late in the game when they're fearing this Los Angeles pass rush.
But if you're putting them out there to like run and catch passes.
Well, I don't know if that was the original play call or if that's something that they changed at the line once Perine was in and they couldn't change out Mixon. I gotta say, I don't know why you don't have Mixon out there. Mixon was averaging a healthy 4.8
Right.
yards per carry.
He was breaking tackles.
He was the only running back doing
And let's be
anything
honest,
on the ground in that game.
I mean, all the world to Aaron Donald, but Mixon would have broke that tackle. Aaron Donald got one hand on Samaje Perine. He went down like a bag of bricks.
You know, all right, we're going to focus on this final drive by Cincinnati because, Los Angeles goes up, and you're
That's
thinking,
the one I'm talking about.
Yeah. And you're thinking, man, since they just need to go downfield, they just need a field goal. We're going to overtime. This is exciting. And then the first play, Jamar Chase gets 19 yards. I'm thinking, oh, man, they're going to score a touchdown on this play, on this drive.
Why aren't they? And then why didn't they stick to it?
And then they went to, was it T. Higgins for 9 yards? Yeah. Now they're facing a 2nd and 1. I'm thinking they have 3 attempts to get 1 single yard. They have the throwaway play on 2nd down, which I'm sure Zach Kelly wants to look back at that and say, man, I wish I had that play over again.
And even with that play, it's just like, no, with that play, it's like, Joe, why didn't you run? All you need was 1 yard, Joe.
He's his knee. He had an MCL sprain, they announced after the game. I know.
Anyways.
Much credit to him.
We have more to talk about.
We do. And then some other things I had were the referee controversy. And you touched on this a little bit earlier. You're thinking for a league that doesn't want the referees to determine the outcome of the game, they sure did a horrible job of following that.
Here's my thing.
Inconsistency.
Here's my thing. If you're not going to call that play on that Ramsay, regardless, because I don't care, because I don't like Ramsay's complaining, but if you're not going to call OPI on that play, how are you going to call defensive pass interference or no holding on the play later? It's nonsense.
It was so inconsistent. Like the first half went really quick, and I didn't think there were any egregious penalties that were missed in the first half. Like they did a good job of letting them play. The second half, you missed the face mask. That was huge. I don't know how you missed that. And then when I got within the final 2 minutes, it's like they were calling penalties whenever they were breathing on one another. Now let's throw a penalty for this. Now the Logan Wilson one on, was it 3rd and 8 when Cooper Kupp was going across the middle? That one is really debatable. I'm not sure.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Depends on who you're rooting for.
The Logan Wilson one was not PI. The one after it. Oh, no. The Logan Wilson one that they tried calling holding on.
Yeah,
no, it wasn't.
They got him for holding. Yeah.
No, it wasn't at all. The one after it, where the guy was called for PI, that was holding. that was. I mean, that was ridiculous. Like that guy had him, but the one before it with the Logan Wilson one, no way, no how. That was good football.
Yeah, you're going to find a lot of people thinking the same way, and it just shows the inconsistency that the referees, that unit had for the entire game. And I think that's the frustrating parts of the refereeing. And then...
All right, well, Rams take this game. Cooper Kupp, MVP of the game. I don't mind that. I think it should have been Aaron Donald, personally.
I know, but the voting ends like 4 minutes before the game actually ends. And
so
it's just not enough time. They need to change the voting on that. I do have a WTF moment when we have a chance. It was I think it was the first penalty of the game. It was the unsportsmanlike conduct on Vernon Hargraves.
That's stupid nonsense.
Now, I don't know how this is tolerable. I mean, his boneheaded move happens.
He ain't going to be on the team next year.
It was late in the first half. Jesse Bates had just intercepted Matthew Stafford in the end zone. And after the turnover, some of the Bengal players were joining Bates by celebrating the end zone. Cool, no problem, everything's fine there. Then you have Vernon Hargraves come off the bench, come off the sideline.
He was inactive.
Join his teammates in celebrating. Think, no harm there, right? Well, this is where you're wrong, because if he was in uniform, it wouldn't have been a problem. But he wasn't in uniform. He had shorts on, he had slides on, he had a hoodie on. You knew he wasn't part of the team. And at first, I thought it was a fan who jumped on the field and was celebrating. That's what I thought at first. But no, Vernon Hargraves, that is not allowed, my friends. And
at the same time, that's a stupid rule.
It was, I wouldn't say a stupid rule. It was
It's a stupid rule.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just as dumb as taking your helmet off after the play.
which I'm surprised they didn't flag Aaron Donald for late in the game. But the game, I mean, the turnover
You
already
mean
occurred.
you mean after the game was over? That right there at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, to do what?
Just to enforce the penalty. I know it wouldn't have changed anything, but there we go with another inconsistency. I mean, Aaron Donald gets
Right.
punched in the face twice, and there's no flag thrown. But
Yeah.
I do have one more note in this game.
Go ahead.
All right. It's Jamar Chase versus Jaylen Ramsay, and it's more focused on Jaylen Ramsay. And this isn't meant to be a knock against Jaylen Ramsay. It wasn't as if he played poorly.
No,
but
this is just cornerback play.
But he cannot be considered the best cornerback in the league anymore. And I'm not saying that because he had given up the yards. Now, the T. Higgins 75-yarder should be wiped. That shouldn't be held against him. But Joe Burrow targeted Ramsey 9 times.
I'm just saying, he can still. This is what cornerback play is. Everybody wants to talk about my guy Trayvon Diggs, but this is what cornerback is. You get targeted. You give up yards. You give up touchdowns. It's gonna happen. It's what are you more consistent at? Giving up the yards and touchdowns or making stops?
But with the receiving talent that Cincinnati has, they could have easily run away from him every single play, but Burrow went after him 9 times. That's a high number for me.
Hey, don't get me started on Ramsey. You're gonna have me go back 2 years ago, opening day. So don't get me. All right, we're gonna move on to the Hall of Fame. So the Hall of Fame voting came in, and the NFL can kick rocks. I'm gonna jump right into this. I'm gonna ask some questions because there's some players here. I'm not saying they're undeserving of the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying, how did they get in over certain other people? And I'm going right to your boy, Leroy Butler. I'm going to ask you a flat out question. And there's a right answer to this, and there's a wrong answer. Who was a better player, had a better career, and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? Leroy Butler or Darren Woodson?
I'd have to take a look at their careers a little bit more closely.
All right. I'm gonna let you go ahead and maybe do a little bit of that. I'm gonna bring up some other names here. So guys like Richard Seymour, I have no problem being in the Hall of Fame. But Sam Mills, I'm sorry, Patrick Willis and DeMarcus Ware deserve to be in the Hall of Fame over Sam Mills. I'm sorry.
Man, if Sam Mills got in, I'm thinking, what about Zach Thomas? Zach Thomas
had that.
Zach was better than Sam Mills.
But DeMarcus Ware, probably the best pass rusher
I'm surprised.
of our time. I'm just saying. Jared Allen was a first ballot Hall of Famer, I believe. Was Jared Allen a better pass rusher than DeMarcus Ware? I'm not saying he wasn't really, really good, but he wasn't better than DeMarcus Ware.
Who else got in with that Jared Allen class?
Look at this class particular, which is nonsense. We got Tony Baselli, Leroy Butler, Sam Mills, Richard Seymour, Bryant Young, Cliff Branch, Art McNally, and Dick Vermeil. What name pops to you?
I was surprised that there were 2 defensive tackles added in the same class.
And I
think that part surprised me.
I'm surprised that neither Torrey Holt or Reggie Wayne or Andre Johnson got in. I'm surprised Devin Hester didn't get in.
I know, but it took so long for a punter to get into the Hall of Fame. The special teams, as much as Devin Hester brought back the kick
Devin
return.
Hester did for the game.
Yeah, as much as he did, but it took how long for a great guy to get into the Hall of Fame?
Again, I mean, Darren Woodson not being in the Hall of Fame is ridiculous. He is he holds all right. He holds he is the career tackle holder for those '90s Cowboys teams. Also, the interceptions he had during his career. I'm sorry, his career is better than Leroy Butler's.
I'm not saying Darren Woodson's undeserving, but I definitely felt that Leroy Butler was deserving to get in.
No. And again, I'm not saying that Leroy Butler is undeserving. I'm saying he's not deserving over Darren Woodson. And for guys like DeMarcus Ware, want to know what their excuse is?
What's their excuse?
We need these guys to wait their turn. He's like, Charles Haley waited his turn, so these guys need to wait their turn.
Yeah,
so you guys are the ones who put them in the Hall of Fame. So because you made Charles Haley wait, that means you're going to make other guys wait?
There were no first thought finalists. Were there entries? Were there? I don't think any
are
of
you
them
going to
were
make
first
Tom Brady
ballot.
wait? No, you're not.
I'd be surprised if they made him wait 5 years.
This is the thing. So don't give me that nonsense. See, you notice he's not saying much. So because he does technically agree.
Yeah, I agree. Darren Woodson should have been in, but I also feel strongly that Leroy Butler should have been in.
Well, okay.
So
Sam Mills over Darren Woodson, DeMarcus Ware.
Now I would have had Woodson over Sam Mills. Yeah.
Would you have Ware? I think Ware deserves to be in over Butler also. I'm sorry.
We'll agree to disagree, but here we are.
No. Are you just saying that because you're a Packers fan, or do you truly believe that based on career?
I think
Packers fan. And that's okay. But based on career, I mean, you can make your argument on Woodson versus Butler, and you can call me a homer, but I'm telling you, based on the numbers and based on career, Darren Woodson changed what it meant to be a strong safety. People don't realize, Darren Woodson was a linebacker, right? They had to move him to safety because he was too fast. He was basically the position that we're talking about now, this unique position, that hybrid position. That's what Darren Woodson was. He was like the first of that.
I'm trying to find. I'm looking at more with Darren Woodson. What I see from Leroy Butler is 4-time All-Pro, 90s All-Decade team.
No. Do not use the All-Decade team, because that's the same douchebags that do the Hall of Fame.
Let's see. The player in NFL history to record 20 sacks and 20 interceptions in a career. Let's see what else we got for Leroy. All right. What do we got for Darren Woodson? I have a cat in front of me right now. Hold on one moment.
I mean, all right. So Darren Woodson, let's see.
Woodson, 5 Pro Bowl, 4 All-Pro. Let's see.
Three interceptions, 17 forced fumbles. Over 1,300 tackles. I'm not saying they're not close. I'm just saying I think Leroy goes over. I mean, Woody goes over Leroy. But they both deserve to be in. I'm not saying that. But to kill some more of this, I mean, there's some other guys here. Like, I've no problem with, let's say, Richard Seymour getting it.
No, I agree with that one.
Bryant Young, yeah, okay. But I mean, it just feels like the Hall's like, oh, they just took this year to shoe in some guys that's been waiting for a little while. And it's just like, okay, when's Darren Woodson going to get in? Because you don't deny that Darren Woodson deserves to be in.
Oh, he deserves, absolutely. So does Torrey Holt. So does Reggie Wayne. I think so does Devin Hester.
Yes.
DeMarcus
Agreed.
Ware.
What's that? Oh, well, I think DeMarcus Ware deserves to be in over everyone on this list, other than Richard Seymour and maybe Dick Vermeil. Personally. But DeMarcus Ware was disgusting. Also, an all-decade team winner, or vote, or whatever you call it. I don't know if you call it a winner or voted in.
Member of.
Member of.
Elected something, yeah.
Anyways, and you have any other thoughts other than my issues on the Hall of Fame?
I think people need to slow down with the Matthew Stafford Hall of Fame talk.
What? People are talking about that?
Yeah. They're like, yeah, Matthew Stafford got his Super Bowl ring. He's a Hall of Famer. I'm like, whoa. Again, we need to pump the brakes on that because, whoa.
Again, making Super Bowl rings a contingent of being a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
All right, not to circle back.
Yeah.
Not to circle back. But Jared Allen, again, I'm saying Jared Allen in the Hall of Fame, Jason Taylor in the Hall of Fame. Jason Taylor finished with 39.5 sacks. Jared Allen finished with 36 sacks. How many sacks did DeMarcus Ware finish with? 38.5. Just saying. He's 9th on the all-time list. I argue with that. But hey, we know how they like Cowboys these days. Or all right. Any other course of business on the docket for you, Sean?
Let's see. We had the end of season awards, which played out exactly how I predicted them to play out.
Yes, I've got something to say about this too. I'm not taking anything from TJ Watt. TJ Watt's a great player. I'm not saying he does not deserve to be honored, but I do not think he was actually the best defensive player of the year. Let's look at this plainly. I know he had a lot of sacks. A lot of those are cleanup sacks, and I get it. Those matter. He did get to the quarterback with other people pushing him his way. He only had 45 pressures. I'm just saying, in the whole scheme of things, I think it should have been flipped how it was. Maybe Aaron Donald should have won it, then Micah should have been second, then TJ. But I know the flashy stuff is what gets you there. And TJ was very flashy.
He was.
I'm just saying, when you look at the X's and O's of it, he was good, but he wasn't as good as the numbers make it look. The numbers lie. Tape doesn't. Numbers lie.
The people voting aren't looking at the tape. Come on now.
I know they're not. But I'm talking about me and you talking X's and O's here.
Well, if that's the case, Aaron Donald should have like 7 or 8 Defensive Player of the Year awards.
Agreed.
Yeah. He could retire now and he can go down. I mean, he already is one of the best defensive players.
Oh, he's a walking, talking Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm. With or without the ring, he would have been Hall of Fame.
Even with that, maybe Micah gets more consideration if we're talking X's and O's, considering he played, what, like 3 or 4 positions
Man,
and excelled at all of them?
Micah won't make the Hall of Fame. You know this because he plays for the Cowboys. I know this.
But I was talking about the defensive player.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen a rookie do what he did this past year?
No.
Have you ever seen that? I've never seen that in my life.
Watching him play, it was like watching a seasoned veteran out there.
Well, no, it's just like a guy come down, rush the passer with like extreme success. Then you see him in coverage, playing. Who was he on in that one game where like he had an amazing breakup, and it's just like you're 20 yards downfield playing coverage. I don't know. I don't think you create dude these dudes are grown, right?
Unless the announcer emphasized or made mention of rookie Micah Parsons, you never would have guessed that he was a rookie out there.
Right. Yeah. And then Coach of the Year, we knew Vrabel, MVP. There's no debate between the two of us. There might be debates between other people saying Brady, this, that. There's no debate between the two of us. I think because some people are like, oh, well, Rodgers didn't like his season last year was a little bit more impressive. I'm thinking, no. I think he had a little bit more adversity this year, personally.
Absolutely.
I agree.
No, he did. There was more adversity for sure with losing offensive linemen, several of them. Still lacking a second receiving weapon. I mean, he had Robert Tonyan last year. This year he had really nobody else as a second receiving weapon. So I still continue to say that Aaron Rodgers did more with less. Yeah, Tom Brady got better numbers, more yards, more touchdowns. He's 43, 44, emphasize his age all you want, but you were expecting that productivity from Tom Brady because of the roster that he had for most of the season. It wasn't until the final couple of weeks of the season when he got down to his really one main receiving threats. It's like, okay, well, now we're almost on the same page as Aaron Rodgers. Just start losing some offensive linemen, and then we might be on the same page. So, yeah, you're expecting Tom Brady to put up better numbers, but the numbers themselves don't mean that he's an MVP. So,
and then, I mean, everything else is as predicted. It is very predictable. Joe Burrow, considering what he did, obvious pick. Again, Micah, first ever unanimous defensive rookie of the year. And then
deservedly.
Jamar, obvious choice. There's not much else to say. There was some fun stuff there where like Travis Kelce got mad at what's his name?
Oh yeah. Whoever was hosting, yeah. The name, yeah.
Key. Yeah, it was fun stuff. Other than that, I don't got anything else this week for NFL. Next week we're gonna start previewing free agency, correct?
Ooh, I think next week we start previewing the franchise tag candidates.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
As a lead up to free agency, because the franchise tag, that window is the 22nd through March 8th. So it's a 2.5 week window. So,
all right. With that said, any words of wisdom, Cat Daddy?
No, not right now. I am unprepared for words of wisdom.
My words of wisdom, not really words of wisdom, just some advice. Stop using sack totals as what your measurement is for a pass rusher. I'm just saying, it doesn't tell the whole story.
Well, I mean, if that's your word of wisdom, I guess I do have a word of wisdom. Increase your standard for what qualifies in the Hall of Fame.
There's that.